Jeep Surfski World Series is proudly presented by Jeep Apparel and White Hot Media. Welcome back to the Jeep Surfski World Series. The 2011 World Series was witness to the best surfski racing the sport has ever seen. Our first stop saw us in West Australia for the Doctor. Billed as the world's best downwind course, the race most certainly did not disappoint. And with the top 10 paddlers in the world present, it was quite simply a war of attrition, creating not only a close race, but the closest finish in the race's history, with Aussies Tim Jacobs outrunning Bruce Taylor and outpaddling the South Africans for the win on the line. Next we were in Durban, South Africa for the Durban Surfski World Cup, and this was always going to be Hank McGregor's day. Having won the World Marathon Champs earlier in the month, he was in unbeatable form and dominated the race from start to finish. Next stop was the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius, and this was a chance for the South Africans to stamp their authority on the world of surfski. Tom Skilperud and David Mocker in a battle with Australian Jeremy Cotter all the way. Mocker just too strong though, taking a win and moving himself up the world rankings and taking the lead halfway through the season, with Cotter a close second. Summer in Europe saw the Surfski World Series kick it into high gear as we visited two races in Portugal, Nelo Summer Challenge and the Race of Champions. Set right after the World Canoeing Champs in London, these races drew the best kayak paddlers on the planet from all disciplines, and Olympians would line up next to future stars, and some of the biggest names in surfski got to test their mettle against the world's best. Hot on his success in Mauritius and the USA, David Mocker was out to prove a point, but he had Olympic champion in the form of Australian Ken Wallace to contend with. And he was ready for anything, taking the race to Mocker and showing his pedigree as a paddler didn't only include the flat water. In the end it came down to a sprint for the line. Wallace simply too powerful, but Mocker not far back and moving even further into the lead for the world title with his second place. In the end, Mocker would take his third consecutive world title, and Matt Bowman and Bruce Taylor would join him on the podium. So, the stage is set for the 2012 season, and a new system will make it more open to the whole world of paddling. 11 races on the newly formed Ocean Paddler World Series, with best 6 race results to count. And the first stop was Sydney, New South Wales.
Welcome to Fen Cup. This is a 16-kilometre race from Collaroy Beach. We're currently at Collaroy Beach in Sydney, going to Palm Beach on the northern beaches. We start out at sea, or at the end of the reef, which is about 2k out, which gives us a really good run with the southeast wind all the way down to Palm Beach. Should be pretty fun. So this is race 1 of the Ocean Paddler World Series. Tomorrow we have another one in Western Australia, and then the big one, the Doctor, which is next weekend. So there's a bunch of good guys here, you know, willing to sort of get their points up early and win some of the good bucks available. So it should be a pretty interesting race.
So race 1 of the Ocean Paddler World Series is the Fen Cup in Sydney. A 16-kilometre paddle from Collaroy to Palm Beach, and a perfect chance to get a jump in the world rankings with 92 paddlers. And the top Australians on the line for this one. So 92 paddlers line up at Fisherman's Beach in Collaroy. A short 1 kilometre warm-up out to the start line, and the first race of the World Series is almost underway. Conditions are very honest. A very light southwesterly wind has created some small runs, but today's paddle will be fast and it will be hard racing.
really have a plan off the start. It was basically get out as quick as I could for the first 30 seconds to a minute and see where the other guys were at. You can sort of see who's really keen on that hot spot straight up initially, and then decide whether it's worth having a real go for it or sort of leaving it to the other guys who are a little bit more keener.
Immediately, the race favourites make for the front as we see Ben Allen chasing down Jeremy Cotter, who has burst out the blocks at a furious pace and holds a narrow lead just a few kilometres up into the race. We're on board with Damien Daly now, who is hanging on to 5th right now. A couple runs, but already it's a slog. The short course, Malibu board and SUP paddlers ready to start now, and their race will begin 5 kilometres up at Mona Vale. It's not long after that when our front runners catch up. Cotter still leads, but Bruce Taylor now making his way to 2nd place and pushing Ben Allen back to 3rd. Not much in that struggle as we see Mark Anderson, last year's 9th place on the World Series, a local Sydney lifeguard and looking strong in 5th place. Cade Barnes and Dean Gardner not far back either. There were certain parts of that race where the wind and the conditions and the runners sort of lined up a little bit, and I really come through there. I've made the move on Ben and caught a few good runners and felt good, and I was surfing my boat really well, and that's enough confidence for me to take out for 27k next week if the wind blows. Back to the action in the Fen Cup, race 1 of the Surfski World Series 2012 here in Sydney, New South Wales. We rejoin the race with only a few kilometres to go now as the front paddlers near Avalon Cliffs. Jeremy Cotter still leading, and Ben Allen is making a run at him for the front, but has he left it too late?
The last 2 kilometres, as we come around Avalon on the cliffs there, you get a lot of refraction off the rock face, and so the conditions change substantially because you're not only dealing with the swells coming towards the rock, you're dealing with what's coming back off the rocks, and so you can actually catch runs both ways. And so some guys do tend to struggle with that. For me, I don't mind it. It's just an experience scenario.
With our third place now, and Bruce Taylor is pushing hard to make up some lost ground on Ben Allen, who's looking very comfortable as we near the finish at Palm Beach.
The last 5k actually felt really good. I was in a good pattern, and I knew when we're coming into Avalon and that sort of area, I really like the backwash there, and I knew I was coming into stuff. I've grown up on these northern beaches all my life, and I've grown up chasing run and chop around the cliffs. So it was coming into stuff I knew, and I thought if these guys are going to come and get me, they're going to have to be pretty special through here. And I knew the speeds I was going. I thought, no, I've got it. And then when I look back, I actually was getting further in front. So I thought, I think I've got this.
One kilometre to go now as Jeremy Cotter rounds the point at Palm Beach. He has led from start to finish today, and no one will deny him the first win of the 2012 World Series here in Sydney. Ben Allen fought hard for it, held off Bruce Taylor, but he will settle for second, and Taylor, I think, will be happy with third place. Cade paddles into fourth place, while 9-times world champion Dean Gardner sneaks past Mark Anderson for 5th and 6th respectively.
The plan today, I wanted to get back to the old way I used to race, just get out ballistic and go for it and really hang on. I haven't done that for a while, and it was good to get back and do that. And I sort of got out in front, and then I could sit and dictate what happened. So
Never happy if you don't win, but content. It was a good start. Just wasn't good enough on the day, so have another go next week and see how we go.
It was quite technical, but also required a lot of strength. I mean, there was a lot of wash coming into the rocks, out of the rocks, and also, you know, from the south as well. So you had a lot of mixed up there, and it was really hard to get anything that was remotely organised to surf on. I definitely found that the stronger guys, they pulled away on me a little bit, whereas I actually thought I might be able to surf my way through. It wasn't to be today in those conditions. It was really tricky, and I think the harder, stronger paddlers prevailed.
Some good racing here in Sydney's northern beaches, and a great start to the Ocean Paddler World Series. So taking the lead in the world rankings, Jeremy Cotter from Ben Allen from Bruce Taylor. All three of those guys will be in Perth next week for the Doctor. Next stop on the Surfski World Series would happen just the very next day. We move from the east coast of Australia to the west coast and just north of Perth and the beautiful city of Mandurah. Famous as a tourist destination with its vast array of water sports, dolphin viewing and marina lifestyle, it's easy to see why this is one of the most popular locations on the west coast to spend time. This race is unique as the only race on the tour with a choice of 2 courses from start to finish. Paddlers have a choice of ocean versus estuary and can choose to leave the start and go along the coast on the ocean side to the finish, or head back along the estuary and to the finish at the marina. Both courses are 14 kilometers and both have their advantages and disadvantages, although most would favour the ocean route with the hope of using the runs to gain an advantage. This is a multi-discipline race with stand-up paddlers racing outrigger canoes and surfskis, all starting at different times but all eligible for line honours. The outriggers and stand-ups are away first with a 10-minute lead on the rest of the field. We pick them up 2 kilometres into the race on the ocean side. But it's not long when the Surfski paddlers, led by the South Africans David and Jasper Mocker, are in sight and take the lead. This year, 29 paddlers would take the estuary route and 177 the ocean route, and with a good swell and wind up today, seems to be the correct choice. So back to the Surfski World Series now, and David and Jasper Mocker are trading the lead with Aussie Brendan Sarson not far back in third, with Ash Nesbitt and Dean Beamont finding some nice runs to work with as well. Dean Gardner in the thick of it again today and looking to move up the world rankings with none of the top 4 Sydney boys making the trip for this race, leaving a great chance to take the lead in the series. What a close race at the front as Jasper Mocker takes the lead momentarily and David snatches it right back. It's like 2 prize fighters slogging it out for a title.
The 2012 Ocean Paddler World Series, we've had these de facto series, but no one was really sort of administering the thing, and that's obviously the big job, is administering the thing. And it's great that that Ocean Paddler's taken up the reins here. It's great that there's going to be something administering. Finally, we're going to have a ranking system through the year, which is going to be great, and it's really going to make it exciting near the middle and the end of the year. So really looking forward to this year, and what a great way to start it as well.
Halfway now and it's still stroke for stroke. The Surfski have moved to the front of the field now except for one paddler, Greg Long, on an OC1 outrigger canoe. He is flying a few hundred meters ahead and nobody will catch him today. Just moments before they turn into the estuary, and then it's just 2 kilometers to the finish. And Brendan Sarson is holding on to that third place with both hands. The legend Dean Gardner is hunting him down though, and now has a firm hold on 4th and is eyeing out that podium place. At the front, there is certainly no love lost here, as the brothers from South Africa are still stroke for stroke. Jasper sees an opportunity and he closes the door on his brother, giving him a narrow lead, but David is not one to give up so easily. They round the final turn marker and Jasper Mocker still leads. David has narrowed the gap, but Jasper pins his ears back and puts the hammer down. There'll be no coming back from this now, and Jasper Mocker will take the win here today. David second place, and Brendan Sarson holding off the advances of Gardner for the 3rd podium place.
Lovely warm-up race for next week's Dr. Downwind. It's nice to get out of the city a bit and do something different from what we normally do. So I think it works very, very well with the Doctor race, and great conditions down here as well. So short race, so it was very, very hard. Jasper and I had a good little tonk the whole way we were together, and Jasper just getting me right on the line on the sprint. So tough race.
It's a great race, and basically in 1 week there are 4 World Series races, which is very cool, and we're very stoked to see something official come together and be nice prizes and stuff like that. So we're very excited about this. Perfect downwind race, like 2 strokes into the runs. Dolphins, and there were unbelievable runs, and nice little waterfront, nice restaurants and stuff. So always good to do a race and then see new places as well. Hey, what a blessing.
So results for race 2 of the Ocean Paddler Surfski World Series. Jasper Mocker outsprints his brother for the win, and local boy Brendan Sarson on the board with a good 3rd. The big news is Dean Gardner, who with this 4th place and his 4th in Sydney will top the World Series rankings going into the Doctor next week in Perth. Join us next time as we travel to Perth for the Doctor, one of the best downwind courses on the planet, and more Surfski World Series racing action. Thanks for watching, we'll see you there. The Jeep Surfski World Series is proudly presented by Jeep Apparel and White Hot Media.